chosen ones, empaths, and all the genuine souls. They saw the strength in you. This narcissist saw the strength in you. I'm telling you, that's why they gravitated towards you, right? They choose strong people, okay? They choose strong people to gravitate towards. And the thing is you may never have deemed yourself as a strong person. I'm not talking about how much weight you can lift or anything like that. I'm talking about your inner strength, okay? The way that you have the perseverance to withstand challenges in life and things like that, and you can offer advice to people going through difficulties and things like that, right? Now, you may not notice or may have not noticed that you do have these qualities. That's the thing, because people don't often point it out to you that you do have these qualities, right? But the narcissist was very wounded, okay? Naturally, narcissists are very wounded upon arrival of new relationships, okay? So when you met this narcissist, they were very wounded from their past, all right? They were very broken. Even if they made the decision to, proceed on with their life away from the old supply onto you, they are still very wounded, okay? And naturally, they could also be facing difficulties with other things like health, right? Natural kind of occurrences. I'm not saying they're punishments or God's wrath or the universe's wrath on them. I'm saying they naturally can face like ailments, and is ailments the right word? Like, it basically can face illnesses and things like that, right? And difficulties with their difficulties with, you know what I'm saying? You get what I mean, right? They can face other complications in life, so they can be broken, in other ways as well, right? Because they're facing challenges, but also they are spiritually and mentally broken from these relationships with the old suppliers, and they gravitated towards you because they felt a strength, okay? And they test for this strength, all right? They may say certain things in your first few interactions, and the way that you respond, they're like, shit, geez, like they're like, sorry for my language, but they're like, wow, this person's got strength, you know what I'm saying? They basically realize they can use your foresight, your vigilance, your analytical sight of viewing things, the way that you offer advice, and they can use that to help rebuild themselves, all right? And it's not often that they come across people like that, because many people don't build you up in this world. Same for narcissists, right? Other people don't build each other up, right? They break each other down. Even regular people do this, right? But narcissists take it to the extreme. So the narcissist, engage with you to gain this rebuilding, all right, to build themselves up again, and they realize that they hit such high heights, whether they let you onto this or not, whether they're smiling or frowning or whatever like that, deep within they know what you've done for them, and they know you've rebuilt them, but they fundamentally get very, very insecure about this, and I'll tell you why. From the strength that you instill in them, they get very, very, very insecure about this. And it's not just romantic relationships, it can be other types of relationships as well, but they get very, very insecure about you having this ability to offer advice, and help people, right? And be selfless. Please like, share, and subscribe. So the reason they feel insecure about this is because they think, if they're better now, okay, if they're better now, you're gonna focus your attention on someone who's more broken than they are, or they're concerned about that. They're also concerned about there's people like them in the world that play on the fact that they're broken to soak up sympathy, to soak up supply, and they think like, well, if I drawed them out, they don't think that very highly of themselves, narcissists. So they think if I draw this chosen one, empath, and genuine soul out, I can, they can get drawn out by someone else. So what the narcissist will do is, despite your attempts to rebuild them, they may continue to act broken. Okay, they won't, even at first, if they kind of reciprocated or said thank you for so much you've done and all this shit, that will start to fade. And it will get to the point where you're endlessly helping this person and it's going nowhere. All right, they're not really seizing the moment. They're not really taking, using it to their advantage. And even though they are getting built up, they may not let you. Not always. They may not make you aware that they're getting built up. Okay, and the thing is whether you take this as mythology or fact or law or whatever, right? If you look in the book, if you look in the story of Samson and Delilah, right? Jezebel, right? She gravitated towards Samson because he was the strongest man. And even though in the scripture they break it down as he was strong and he was blessed by God to be strong in a physical form, you know, you can take it metaphorically as well, all right? Because what resulted in him is when she cut his hair and she gouged out his eyes, that can be taken metaphorically as well. Like he lost his vision, you know, he lost his foresight, he lost his vision, and then he lost his strength. Okay, so what you can see from this is these Jezebel spirits. I normally touch on this on the spiritual channel, but I just thought I'd mention it here. These narcissists will have this spirit or will have these tendencies of the Jezebel, right? And they're there to drain you. So ultimately, the narcissist is very concerned that you're going to go on to other people and help other people, so they continue to remain broken. All the while, they're rebuilding themselves, okay? And the thing is what they're concerned about as well is, this is why they start to lash out, you know. I don't mean lash out physically, but they can lash out. They can be really mean. They can try and diminish you. They can try and emasculate you if you're a man, diminish you if you're a woman. They can try and do these types of things so you don't see your full potential. And what they want to do is break you, because if they're getting in their mind that they want to go in another direction now, or they've used you enough and they want to go in another direction, they don't want you to be that person who you was, helping them like you did. Because they realize that you can actually cultivate a solid bond if you've done that with someone genuine, you see. And they don't want you to be doing that for other people, because they know how influential you are and the strength that you have to help people through. I need to touch on what I mean about the strength a bit more, I think, right? The strength is like, I've spoken to people in sessions, even recently. There was a gentleman that said something like, you know, about offering advice to the narcissist, right? And he was mentioning this in a session to me. There was a few people recently, actually. They used to give advice to the narcissist, right? And it wasn't like they were condescending or anything like that. It was generally helpful advice, like, no, you should do this, you should do that. You see what I mean? Like rebuilding the people up, rebuilding the narcissist up. And I want you to understand that you may not realize that you have this ability to have this foresight, have this vision. So fundamentally, they want to try and strip that away from you. They want to break you, right? And they don't want you to be this person that can help others. They really, really, really don't want you to be this person that can help others. So that's why they opt to choose to break you, okay? When they get the decision that they're going to go in their own direction, they think, right, I need to leave them broken, because they can't have you going around helping others, forming solid bonds and all of that. And that's why you've gone through the whole ordeal a lot of the times. And like I said, a lot of you might not view yourself as strong, but look at what people have said. Check people when you speak, when you speak or you say something, right? Or you offer advice or you say something. It's very different from a lot of what people do. They're not like that. They don't like to build people up, and it's not people pleasing. It's not that. All it is what I advise now is what will be different is you ain't gonna do that just for anyone and anyone. You know, you only behave selflessly and kind and that to people who are deserving, right? And that's all I would say. Just hold back a little before you let people in on, you know, your insight and your ability to care and heal and stuff like that. So the thing is they don't want you to they don't want you healing anyone else. They know the profound impact that you had on them for healing, and they really don't want you to heal anyone else. So it does reach that point, okay, because a lot of the times they're rebuilding in secret. Okay, they're acquiring all of your benefit from being around you, and they're rebuilding in secret and acting like, oh, I'm still broken, or I'm still sad, and they do all that, right? So, you know, the thing is, it means more to them to ultimately destroy you than it means to keep you around, building them up, because they've reached certain heights without you really knowing. And that's why they often go off and you think they're glowing and all of that. And this is why many of you are fooled, right? But what it is you know, they've drained you of everything, you know, endlessly giving to someone who's not registering it, not reciprocating it, not offering you any indication that it's working, and they just conform you to this servitude kind of role of, you know, endlessly giving and building someone up that keeps just acting broken. Almost like, and I don't want to compare narcissists to toddlers. I hear other people do that quite a lot, right? To children, because children are pure and children are learning and things like that. And narcissists are not like children. But I'm just saying, you know, if there's a toddler there and you're building the stack blocks, right? You know, and the stack, the toddler just knocks the blocks down. You know, you build up. Oh, look, you're building the blocks, and then they go da, and they knock it down. Right? That's the sort of thing that on a real level, what the narcissist does with everything you pour into them. Right? They break it down. They rebuild that tower, rebuild that block, rebuild that tower, rebuild that tower. You know, and you just end up in this cycle of trying to help someone that acts that they don't want to be helped. All right. So what you can learn from this experience and understand is you'll be able to tell now people that want to be helped and people that don't want to be helped. You'll be understand now people that are playing the victim and people that are not playing the victim. You know what I'm saying? Like, all I'm saying to you is whether you were discarded, ghosted, abandoned, you cut the narcissist off and anything like that. Often you hear me talk about, oh, you're the victim of abuse. Like, I want you to understand you have a lot of strength to have gone through what you've gone through, to help a narcissist in that way. You had a lot of strength, a lot of goodness. Don't lose that, but just don't give it to everyone so easily. That's all I'm saying. You know, that's what I'm saying. All right. Like, I know you can get caught in a bind of where it's just your natural inclination to help and stuff like that, but just try. Okay, if you're affiliated with someone, a friend, family member, romantic partner, whoever, don't get too caught in the spell of being in servitude to them, trying to rebuild them up, because some people don't want to be helped. All right, certainly don't want to be helped, but they take what they can from you. They don't reciprocate that they're actually benefiting from it, and you know, then they'll ghost you or abandon you or cut you off, and you'll feel used. You know what I'm saying? So just be careful about who you give your time and your dedication to, and all of this insight and knowledge and wisdom that you have. Okay, just be very, very vigilant and careful about it in the future. So anyway, thank you so much for listening today. I really appreciate the support. Please book a session if you'd like to. I'm now available 24 hours across all time zones. Also, now I'm offering private custom videos delivered within 24 hours that will answer questions and concerns you have about your particular experience. You're welcome to donate or support to the channel if you'd like to. Check out the spiritual channel for more content. All links you need in the description box below, and I'll be back with another video soon. Peace.